Who is in the best 17 for the Titans this year? It's a pretty interesting one. The Zero Tackle team here, we've made our call and we want to know what you think. So jump in the comment section, let us know what you think, and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, because we have plenty of NRL content coming out for you this year and you want to be a part of that. So with all that being said, let's go. Titans 2025 best 17. Before we get into it, make sure you're set for the new season with Zero Tackle's 2025 NRL Season Guide. The comprehensive season guide features over 120 pages of dedicated, detailed footy content ahead of the 2025 season, with profiles of every single player, team previews, fixtures, recruitment reports, and much, much more. Best of all, it's free. Get it now from zerotackle.com. All right, so here to break down the best 17 for the Titans this year, Darren Parkin, Zero Tackle analyst. So Des Hasler has a couple of things he needs to do this year. One is find the right balance between their forward pack and his backline.
Yeah, I mean, the forward pack's generally been fairly settled, but they've had a few issues. Injuries hit them pretty hard last year. They started the season slowly, did a lot of damage in that part. Found some improvements at times, but it was a little bit too late. They've just got to nail some key selection decisions. They've got a few 50-50 calls, or even sometimes 3 options, and they've got to settle on one, and just making sure they get those exactly right and settle their balance to give them the best chance.
Yep, absolutely. Well, let's get into the backline straight away. All right, so starting with number 1. So 3 potential first choice options, but we're going with Keano Kini.
Yeah, I mean, AJ Brimson's been an incumbent in the past, drops back to probably third banana, will still play in the lineup. We've pushed him into the halves. They've got a few that are challenging. Keeney, the emerging weapon who looks to have the brightest future, should get first crack over Jaden Campbell, who's also in the mix as well.
Yep. And then in the wingers, Khan Pereira and Jojo Fafita.
Yeah, Khan Pereira, highest try scorer in the comp in 2024, getting better in plenty of other aspects, settling under the high ball and those sorts of things. Jojo Fafita, loaded with talent. He'll get first crack. That one's probably a little bit less settled. Going to get a bit of pressure from Jalen de Groot, Harley Smith-Shields, who are also going to sort of lobby for positions elsewhere as well.
Yep. And then in the centres, Philip Sammy and Brian Kelly.
Yeah, Philip Sammy, experienced hard runner, first picked of this duo in ours, has really nailed the centres role after cutting his teeth for so long on the wings. In the earlier part, Brian Kelly could still potentially take up goal-kicking responsibilities after Tanner Boyd left in the off-season. That duo could also serve, the above duo that we mentioned, De Groot and Smith-Shields could work as backups here as well, and Carter Gordon, who we'll mention a few times.
Yep. And now we get into an area that might be a bit more thin, so the halves combination, 5'8" AJ Brimson, and then halfback Kieran Foran.
Yeah, looking at genuine specialists within their top 30, there aren't too many. I mean, Brimson's a specialist fullback, but can obviously do a few other things as well, and given him that option, and Kieran Foran potentially the club's most important player. But Carter Gordon, another option that you could see pop up in the halves.
Yep. All right, so the forward pack, a little bit more settled. We'll start with the props. So Fodawaker and their big signing, Reagan Campbell-Gillard.
Yeah, Fodawaker, a stalwart there for a while and will continue to be that. Reagan Campbell-Gillard coming across from the Eels, one of the big moves in the off-season. They've got a very strong forward pack overall, and particularly in these middle forward roles. So one less headache for Des there, and they've got a big Tino Fa'asuamaleaui in the lock position. Slight move for the other skipper, of course, but one he'll manage just fine. Obviously, he's had to shuffle a little bit with Campbell-Gillard's arrival.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the second row is in Beau Fermor and David Fafita.
Yeah, Beau Fermor. Both these guys are walk-up starters in a strong edge pack. Both could play Origin as well. And then obviously David Fafita. There's always queries on his defending, but he does offer them plenty. And with that, we've obviously got Sam Verrills in a 1-2 punch with Chris Randall, who I wanted to mention in that hooker role as well. They're a little bit thin for depth in there. Randall could play a role at 13, and his ability to play lock and dummy half could push a few things around in terms of what they do there as well. I don't think many groups in the comp can raise a candle to the depth they have in that area. And you mentioned guys like Pahulu as well, and the likes of Alec Winky as well. So there's a lot of options that they can produce.
All right, and rounding out the best 17 with the interchange, pretty solid here. So we'll go Jaden Campbell, Chris Randall, Jermaine Jolliffe, and Cleese Haas.
Yeah, Campbell can cover basically all of their defensive roles. Randall, one of the most important players in the group, despite not being in the 13, can obviously give them depth in key areas. Jolliffe, regular and reliable bench option for them, always does a job. And Haas gets the nod over a couple of others due to being able to play second row. And that leaves the likes of Carter Gordon a bit stiff. And Pahulu, the interesting one, probably on the outer to a degree. There was contract issues in the off-season. It's likely that this will be his last year, so probably won't stun too many people to know that he's kind of on the fringes. Yeah.
All right, well, that is our full best 17. So they seem, relatively solid, but I guess the question is whether or not, or how that best 17 there stacks up against the rest of the competition.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think it's stable enough. I think they're pretty well drilled and pretty well coached. It's just, I guess, the overall depth of quality, whether that puts them in the mix for a spot in the lower part of the 8, which might be the best case scenario for them with what they have at the moment. But some good signings, and yeah, I think they'll improve. It's just to what measure.
Yeah, absolutely. So let us know what you think of our best 17. Jump in that comments section. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. We have plenty of NRL content coming out this year. Catch all the latest NRL news at zerotackle.com, and thank you for watching.